All right, welcome back. So we're gonna do the other parts of read. So we did child added, which is great. But actually, if you edit something, so mine's still kind of running from last time. If you edit it, it won't really respect edits, right? So if I've got this here and I take like my hello world one and I delete it, so now it's gone. Um, you can see that my app still has it here. It's because it wasn't listening for deletes. Likewise, so my web client was, that's good. Likewise, if I edit this and say Terminator, let's say I say the Terminator. And so I say done to that. My console got it, but my phone didn't, right? So it says I'll be back, and it just says Terminator, so it's wrong, right? And that's because we're only listening to add events. Now we can do an add event. In fact, that's kind of fun. Let's do an add event. So if I were to add a quote, so let's do everything is awesome from the Lego movie. So I've kind of got my simulator over there. So as soon as I hit it, boom, you can see that it gets added right away. And again, the reason they separate read into these three parts is for efficiency, right? You totally could just listen to the whole object. So like if you made a snapshot on quotes, then there'd be like an array of all these different things. It'd technically be a map. And if any of them changed, it would give you the whole thing again. That would be inefficient. So this is much more efficient, and that gives you one piece at a time. Downside is we've got to write a couple more listeners, right? So no big deal. So let's go back over to our code and let's write some more listeners. I'm lazy, right? So I'm going to actually copy this previous one, paste it right here. There will be quite a bit to change, but it'll work out great. I also like to cheat on my to-dos, and I sometimes like to mark it done as soon as I start working on it. I'm very optimistic. So before it was a child added, this copied version is going to be a child changed. So that's going to be step number one. So I've kind of got my child added stuff up there, and this will be my child changed stuff down here. You can totally stick with the same, like, doesn't exist code, something went wrong. I'm certain it won't happen here, but there's really no harm in it. And then after that, though, things will need to be a little different. So one thing is all this like fancy like table reloading stuff. We don't need any of that. The only thing we really need is the simple table reload, right? So table reload will actually make sure that any changes that are made to your model object will get reloaded in the table. You don't have to worry about rows changing or anything, though. You don't have to worry about animations. We'll just say reload data. The other thing is we don't want to create a snapshot and then stick it on the array. I'm okay with making a snapshot, making a movie quote from the snapshot, just because that makes my life easier, right? Then I can interact with the snapshot in an easier way. So I don't mind making it. Let's give it a different name. So this is really a modified movie quote, right? So this is the one that just changed. Something changed about this. So what we want to do is we want to go through all the other movie quotes. So we'll just say for movie quote in movie quotes. And we want to kind of go through them one by one. And what we want to do is we want to see if they have matching keys or not, because the key is really the important thing here. So if you are equal to the modified movie quotes key, then we've got a match, right? So we're going to do something to it, and then we're going to break, right? So I'm going to put my break on here right away. So there's three pieces. There's the key, the movie quote, the movie and the quote. And so what we want to do is we want to modify the one that's in the array, and we will make it equal to the one that we just got, right? So I kind of like this style because it's not creating new objects. It's just tweaking them a little bit, right? So you find the right key, and then you tweak it. It's yelling at me about in movie quotes because I'm inside of a closure, so I've got to say self.movie quotes. So that was actually really easy. And at this point, we've actually added something really powerful. And so anytime a movie quote changes, we're just going to live update it. This is going to be great. This one you definitely should test with your web client because it'll be more fun. So now we've got the ability with our web client. Try to organize Windows a little bit here. So now we can see that we got a fresh slate. So it says the Terminator now, just because we got ourselves a fresh slate there. But if we say edit and we edit the Terminator, let's say that we want to delete the word the. I think this is so cool. Like I'm typing on a website and then my app is just live updating. I just think that's so awesome. So we can create a new quote. I'll go with a crazy verbose one. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die from the Princess Bride. And new quotes get added. You can also click on edit. So if I click on editing, oops, I edited the wrong one. No, I edited this one. So, you could say, hello, my name is, and then just as you type in here, you can see we've got it to where it's doing live updates. Say, hello, my name is Dave. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Fun, neat. You can also click on it and view it in here. I'll say that we haven't set up this view controller at all yet. So if I click this and go back to good old Inigo Montoya, you'll notice that it's not live updating at all yet in here because we haven't touched this view controller. When you come back in here, it'll update, and if you go back in here, it'll be fresh and new again. But I just thought I'd mention that we've only done so much, right? Cool. So that was edit. Edit wasn't hard, but it added quite a bit, which was cool. Let's go do delete. And we're already removing edit because we're removing all observers. For delete, what we're going to do is we're just going to copy the one from edit, and we're going to paste it under this to do. It's kind of hard to see what's going on. I'm going to start off by changing it to a done because I'm optimistic like that. And I'm going to say child removed. Cool. So somebody just got deleted. Which is super. It still gives you the snapshot, which is kind of nice. You can still actually make a movie quote out of it if it got deleted. I forget what values it's got in there if it just got deleted, but the key is definitely valid, and that's all you really care about. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look for which one got deleted. We can use the same style as before. If the key matches, then we do stuff. Before we modified things, this time, this is really like this is the movie quote to delete. So I guess I'll just kind of like highlight it here, click on this down arrow, click edit and scope. So this is really the movie quote to delete. So what we need to do is we just need to figure out how to actually remove this from self.moviequotes. So if you type remove, surprisingly, in Swift, there's not a remove by object. So like a lot of languages, you could just pass in the object, which is fine. We'll just do it in 2 steps. So we'll remove at index, and then we'll just say index to remove is equal to self.moviequotes dot index of, I think is what it is. So we really we're just loopholing the system here, right? So it didn't give me what I wanted. So I wanted a remove by object, but it did give me an index of method and a remove at index method, which is fine. And then it's yelling at me about an exclamation point, and I don't care. Just fix it, compiler. I'm over optionals, right? They're exciting for like a week and then not fun anymore. Cool. So I've removed it from my database, which is cool. Then I've got to show it to my UI. I can do better than reload data because that doesn't give me any animations, and I need my animations. So now when something is removed, I will, have it go away. Note, we're still in read, which is kind of confusing. So I'm not talking about this delete, right? This delete is like me taking the action of delete. That's like D in CRUD. We're still technically in the R of CRUD, which is confusing. But really what we're talking about here is if I delete something from the database, let's just say I'm going to delete Rocky here, make it to where you can see them both. So if I take Rocky and I just delete it, then my app knows that it's gone. I'll go ahead and delete the other one that I typed in with like generated key. If I delete it, my app knows that it's gone. Likewise, if I were to delete one from the database, so I'll click on edit here and delete everything is awesome, same deal, goes away. Super. I don't want to delete that one because it's so long. I'm very proud of it. Cool, so that actually worked, but it wasn't quite exactly what I wanted. It was good enough, right? I'm going to take this reload data and I'm going to do it just a little better. Not that it's a big deal. And we went to the trouble before in this, where's commit editing style? Commit editing style right here. We went to the trouble before of like removing it and then, you know, letting it do this special animation. I'm going to take this animation, I'm just going to control exit, and I'm just going to kind of leave a gap where I stole it from. This is completely broken right now, but that's fine. I've got to come back to that when we start doing, you know, D in CRUD anyway. And this is where the C in CRUD it was broken at. And I'm going to paste it up here. And I'm going to see what I need to do to make it work, right? The first thing I need to do is I need to say self dot on feels like everything. So self dot movie quote, self dot table view, self dot editing. And then I run into one little hiccup, and that hiccup is before when I was deleting, I had an index path. It was just given to me. In this case, I'm going to have to make an index path. So I'm just going to say index path, and I'm just going to say ns index path. No big deal here. There's a constructor for giving it a row and a column, a row and a section. The section is obviously 0. The row is right here, this index to remove. I need to do just a little bit of refactoring because that's what I want right there. But I think it's going to yell at me, yeah, because it was declared inside of this other if statement. No big deal. Easy to fix things like that. We'll just say index to be removed. You're an int. And I'm going to take off the let from here. Cool, so that fixes that one up. Now I've got another, I think I need another self dot, so I kind of did that out of order. Cool, it's going to yell at me about some, it didn't like that I made it a let. I think let's make it a var and see if that gets rid of it. Cool, so I said var index to be removed. I said exclamation point, which is saying, you know, hey, I don't care about you optionals, I will take care of it. I make sure that it gets set up here, and then I use it down here. All right, so let's try it one more time. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create and delete things and edit things. And on the app, we should be able to read all of those events. I don't want to delete my good long one, so I'm going to add another one, test hello. And it popped on there and said test hello. I can edit it. We've already tested that quite a bit, but I still think it's neat. And now when I delete it from up here, what's going to happen is it just goes away over there with a smooth animation, which was kind of the whole point. You could also do this again. You can do it from your back end. So I'm just going to say gen key, and I'm going to add a movie, which is a test. Scoot it around here, see if I can make it fit my body, and a quote, which is a test. So if I add it, it gets changed there. If I modify it from here, the modifications work. And then if I delete it from here, you can see it animates its way out. If you delete the very last one, sorry to see you go, it will say no movie quotes, and life is good again. You will also notice that when I deleted my last one, so I'm just going to show it to you here, when I deleted my last one, I lost the quotes path even, right? That's expected. That's good. That's how Firebase works. If there's nothing there, the path goes away, right? So movie, I'll just say the Terminator, and it says I'll be back. Seems very appropriate for the movie quotes coming back. And sure enough, they pop back in here and they'll animate after that. Cool, fun. You've only actually done one of the things though. So this is really reading the different types of events. The nice thing is that reading is actually the hardest, right? We already took care of this slide, so we removed the observers. But we still have to make this app capable of doing creations. We still have to make this app capable of doing updates and deletes. So there's still a couple more pieces to go in this app, but we've got the hard one behind us, and it's all downhill from here. All right, see you next time. I think we're going to do create and delete next. See you then. Bye.